All right, today is January the 28th, 2017, and we're watching the Northeast Pacific water vapor loop. And right now at noontime in the foothills of Los Angeles, we have a temperature of 68 degrees. The relative humidity is 17%. The barometer is high at 30.28 inches, and the dew point is 22 degrees. And we had very windy conditions overnight. Santa Ana winds, which were generated by this man-made high pressure that's been installed over the southwest. And we can see the outflow right here. Everything is moving to the southwest. So that's creating a lot of wild winds. And this will remain in place throughout the weekend. Now we have a developing storm right here. This is actually a storm according to the surface analysis map. And we have jet stream flow right through this area. And that is evaporating. That is this transmitter, which is affecting this storm, is evaporating this moisture field. We can see the evaporation pattern right over Hawaii and right in this area that is causing a disruption in the moisture flow heading right towards the west coast. Now, amazingly enough, there is no rain along the entire west coast. Let's take a look at the the Doppler map. And there's zero rain in all three coastal states here on the west coast. All right. And we see that this high pressure, which has been installed, is blocking this tropical moisture field moving in. There's an area right here which is trying to spin counterclockwise. That has a transmitter on it right here, and we see a right angle that is formed right there that will prevent this moisture from wrapping around into that developing vortex right offshore of California. And then we have this frontal system, which is associated with this big. This was a storm. I don't know if this is. We'll take a look on the map. This was a storm here a day or two ago. And but there's a lot of spraying going on in the northwest as this heavy moisture moves in. It looks like there should be a lot of rain in Oregon and Washington, but that's not the case. You see all the red here in the IR map. And we see this tropical moisture field right here, which is just dead-ended, where all this high pressure is installed. Everything is just walling up. It's just stopping right here. There's nowhere for that to go, and that's the same story with this frontal system right here on the jet stream. We've got jet stream flow all the way through here, and we see this. We see the disruption of the and the evaporation right here, where that transmitter is breaking up the flow pattern. Now here on the western U.S. Water vapor loop, we can see the better detail of what's actually happening right here. This is stationary high pressure, once again, generated by a transmitter, satellite based. This could be a microwave generated or possibly a laser. At any rate, the effect is the same. We see a blockade. None of this tropical moisture moving to the northeast. This is moving northeast, and everything is bouncing right off of this zone of high pressure. Everything is evaporating. That is, the moisture moving northeast is evaporating right at this point, and this is where the transmitter has parked and placed high pressure. So the high pressure developed is creating offshore winds, and we have clockwise rotation here, high pressure, and that is winding some of this back around and down into our area. And we do see some chemtrail streaks here in the end of that loop, towards the end of the loop. All right, let's look at this in the the infrared loop. And we see the pattern. There's nothing getting into central and southern California, except for northern California. We see some of this breaking off, but my guess is that there is very heavy chemtrailing. Actually, we see the chemtrails in the MODIS Today map. Let's take a look at that right now. Now, I decided to look at the Oregon and Washington area because there's really nothing happening in Southern California because of all the wind. Everything is just blown away, literally just blowing away in the wind. So we have We have the Bay Area here, starting in Central California, looking north. We see a lot of chemtrail activity, as we suspected, all through Northern California. And as we go further north, and we can see these streaks here, and this all this feathered aerosol as it spreads out. This stuff is probably an hour or two old. Spreads out. Now we're missing a portion of the map. You can see the border out here in the white area, but we can easily determine that there's a lot of spraying going on. This gray haze is all over the place. You can see it out here in eastern Washington and also in Montana. So there it is. We have a lot of aerosol spraying going on the entire northwest portion of the country. And if we look at the SSEC geostationary map, the water vapor map, we see what's happening here. All this jet stream flow is moving right into that corner of the country, and this is where all those plains are. And we can see something developing here that has got a transmitter on it, generating that right angle feature. And then yesterday we were showing, or a couple of days ago, we were showing this counterclockwise spinning, developing storm down near the just south east of the Hawaiian Islands. And we see some of that activity here moving north. Of course, this blockade is pushing all that to the east. All right, so here's the surface analysis map, and we can see the incredibly high pressure here, 1,045 millibar, right over Washington, right here in Montana, 1,045 millibar. Down here we have 1,036. There is a trough shown right here. And we have a huge cold front, which remains, we'll have to see what happens. This will block all this weather. Everything is moving to the north. And we've got lows out here. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4. This is a storm. This is that storm we were looking at out in the Pacific. We'll take another look at that. High pressure right behind that. So we're looking at very dry weather. We've got, like I said, 17% humidity right now currently. And this is that storm right here. So by the end of next week, Thursday, Friday, they're talking about a chance of rain. But as it is now, we're right back to the same old pattern, which has brought us the drought conditions the last 6 years. This is man-made. This is why California has had a drought. They park these high pressures. The last 6 years, it's been parked offshore, and everything runs right over over into Canada. Okay, so that's it. We'll do another update later on.